conspiracy theorist. Of course I drink raw milk. Did you know that the biggest salmonella outbreak was actually from pasteurized milk, not raw milk?
No. Raw milk consumption seems to be on the rise. And that's most likely due to the influence, well, of influencers. I don't really understand why, but well, today we will look at many claims being made about raw milk and whether those claims are true. Spoiler alert, they're not. Alright, let's start with her claim first. Was the biggest salmonella outbreak really due to pasteurized milk? Well, not so fast. She actually referenced the salmonella outbreak in 1985. And that salmonella outbreak was associated with an infant dried milk product. But was it actually really pasteurized milk that caused the salmonella outbreak? They actually have run some investigation after that incident, and what they found that the culprit seems to be more likely to be raw milk, mainly due to poor maintenance basically. Fast forward 11 years into 1996 and another salmonella outbreak sadly happened, this time in ice cream. And what exactly was the cause of this salmonella outbreak? Well, you guessed it, from unpasteurized products, more specifically eggs. Whenever we are talking about raw milk and its association related to disease outbreaks or infections, there's something that you have to keep in mind. And that's the number of the population that is actually consuming raw milk products. So to play this a little bit fair, let's take the highest number of this following survey. Their estimation was actually that roughly around 4.4% of the US adults reported consuming raw milk at least once in the past 12 months. We are going with that number because the number might even be less than 4.4%. Let's actually just go with the assumption that these 4.4% of adults consume raw milk products on a daily basis. The following study wanted to compare the disease outbreaks between pasteurized and unpasteurized milk products. The researchers were kind enough to create a graph of all the outbreaks that happened between 1993 and 2006. The black bars represent the unpasteurized milk, so the raw milk outbreaks, and the white bars represent the pasteurized milk related outbreaks. Keeping in mind that roughly 4.4%, again, we are taking the high end of these estimated numbers, are drinking raw milk products, the outbreaks associated to raw milk consumption are astounding. And what's even more concerning is the number of hospitalizations that occurred during these outbreaks. They estimated that around 202 hospitalizations are associated with non-pasteurized dairy products, and only around 37 hospitalizations occurred with pasteurized products. These were all the outbreaks until 2006. We actually have more recent data. This study looked at all the disease outbreaks that were associated with unpasteurized milk and cheese products from 2009 and 2014. They are highlighting again that unpasteurized products are consumed by just a small percentage of the population, but yet they cause 95% of illnesses, and the risk for illness was found to be 800 times higher for consumers of unpasteurized milk or cheese than for consumers of pasteurized dairy products. More than 800 times the risk. And yet, I see people making the claim that raw milk seems to be way more nutritious than pasteurized milk. Lucky for these people, the researchers actually looked into this question as well. And indeed, they found that vitamin E and vitamin B12 decreased with the pasteurization. But vitamin A actually increased. Some of you might be thinking, well, there's not a lot of vitamin E to begin with in milk, so why does this actually matter? And you are 100% correct. It doesn't seem to matter. And the differences in vitamin B12 levels between pasteurized milk and raw milk is around 6%. Now, 6% sounds significant, but let's put this into numbers. Per 100 milliliters, raw milk has around 0.6 and pasteurized milk has around 0.5 micrograms of vitamin B12. In the US, the RDA for vitamin B12 is 2.4 micrograms. So there's not a lot of differences between the vitamin B12 levels of raw versus pasteurized milk. Hence the conclusion of the researchers that pasteurization doesn't have a lot of an effect on the nutritional value of milk. So there you have it. Drinking raw milk or consuming any raw animal-based products is not a good idea. And I'm saying this at the end of the video. I'm vegan. Why do I actually state this at the end? Because many people will think I'm biased and not objective to the data that I'm presenting today. We are all biased in some way, but I try to be as objective about the data that I'm presenting and analyzing as I possibly can. And if you are of the opposing point of view, I challenge you to provide better data. So far, every data I've analyzed about this topic clearly leads into one direction. What are your thoughts about this topic? Feel free to let me know in the comments section. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.